Hey, how do you like my Crocs? Of all the parts of becoming an adult they don't warn you about, the Crocs may be the worst one. I don't think they're actually Crocs. Like, I think they're some sort of knockoff brand. I got them on Amazon. Like, who the fuck knows? Anyway, I'm in the laundry room, waiting for some laundry to be done laundering. I thought it was done, because it told me that it would take an hour, about an hour ago. But it's not done. So now here I sit, just on my ass waiting, because it's not worth going all the way back up to the apartment just to come back down here in like 5 minutes. So yeah, although that one seems to be going on the spin cycle, so you know, maybe that'll be done soon. Anyway, vlog time, I guess. I'll go somewhere a little quieter. Bonk. Stay open, please. Okay. You did not accede to my demand. But yeah, vlog time, I guess. I got an offer of a new apartment the other day, which it's not. It's like I'm on a waiting list thing, and whenever a new apartment becomes available, they'll send out an email to like 100 people, and whoever's been on the list longest gets priority. I'm number 121 on that list, so the chances of me actually getting this apartment are slim to none, I think it's fair to say. But it's a really nice apartment, and I've been thinking of moving. Well, I haven't been thinking of moving, I've been planning to move, which is why I'm on that list for that apartment, pretty much halfway across the country, because that's where my family lives. Because I live, I went to university really far away from my family, mostly because I didn't want to go to Copenhagen. Like, I didn't want to go to the capital at the time, because there's just like a fucking big city. I didn't have the energy for it. I went to a somewhat smaller university somewhere else. And that was fine, like, for like 6 years. Well, longer than 6 years, but shit, it's been like 10. It's been a long time, is what I'm saying, that I've been living like really far away from my family, so I've only really been able to see them for like family functions, birthdays, things like that, and it's starting to get to me, because I got a nephew, my brother's kid, who he's like 9 now, and I've never really had a chance to be part of his life very much, which is, it's starting to get to me. And like, my mom is getting older, and like, she's working as a nurse, and my sister's over there, and like, my dad works over there, and so pretty much like all of my family is just over there in the capital, and I'm not, and it's been fucking with me recently. Like, I've felt that absence a lot, which again, this is like the Crocs. It's another sign of getting older. So I've signed up for, well, basically, if you want to get an apartment anywhere near the capital, and the one I'm looking at isn't really near the capital, it's like within driving distance, you have to sign up for every available possible list, and just like hope that something falls into your lap. And then at the same time, you're also like, you're scouring Facebook, and like, you're reaching out to like, do you know anyone who knows anyone who knows anyone who, like, oh, there's an apartment available here, you have it, like that sort of thing. It's a very sort of disjointed process, but the one we got offered, man, oh my god, oh, it's such a good apartment. It has skylights. Can you believe that? An apartment with skylights and like a huge terrace. It's also expensive, obviously. Like, everything over there is more expensive. I live very, very, very cheap where I live right now, and that's actually been kind of important, because like, the reason I've been able to make a living as a YouTuber for like most of the past few years is because I have, relatively speaking, low living expenses. I live in a really small apartment, and I share the rent with another person, so like, it's kept my expenditures way down. Right, so that one's done. That one still has 7 minutes to go, fair enough. It's kept my expenditures down, and that's helped a lot, and made it possible for me to make a living ish, you know. Well, no, an actual living on Patreon and you know, shut the fuck up. On Patreon and YouTube, and so it's been very, very good for me. Like it's luck and privilege that I was able to live like that in such a cheap apartment. But now it's, you know, now it's time to move on to the next thing, I think. Which, like, the apartment I got offered, like, that was very early. I signed up for these waiting lists, and, like, the shortest waiting time you have is a year. Like, that's the shortest you could possibly expect is a year. But this offer came in, like, 5-6 months after I signed up, so that's kind of early. And so my hope is that there's some movement, like, there's a lot of people, like, moving out of that area, hopefully, like, and that some of the apartments will become available. Like, I hope that it's a sign, you know, that maybe there's a little bit more moving activity in those areas. Oh, there's someone else who needs the laundry room. Okay, well, I'm back in my apartment now. Someone else needed the machines, and I had to, like, empty them out and get them ready for them, and it runs on a reservation system, and they had reserved the machines from the time when I was there now, so I kind of had to make room for them. My stuff is in the dryer now, but yeah, I didn't want to vlog while they were there because that would be felt a little rude to sort of rope them in on that without their permission. Anyway, what was I talking about? Right, the apartment. Like, I'm not gonna get it because there's 120 something people in front of me, and I'm like, one of them is gonna want it, and they have more seniority than me, and that's fine. But in, like, the quiet moments of the night, I've found myself like, hey God, if you're real, and I know you're not, but if you are, just in case, like, just covering my bases, could you, like, just nudge people, just make 120 people ahead of me, just like, feel like for whatever reason, like, we don't really want that one, just feel like that's not really the one that they want, because I would appreciate it, just because I want it. I want to go to my apartment. I want it. I want a bigger place. Again, fully knowing that I'm not going to get it. And if we get it, it's going to be kind of stressful because we have to move, or it becomes open for moving in on November 15th, which is, like, soon. It's just over a month away. And we won't know if we get it, which we won't. But, like, we won't know if we've got it until the 21st at the earliest. Or at the latest, rather. So, you know, it could be a very chaotic moving process where, like, we're going to have to keep paying rent on the old apartment for, like, a few months while we're in the new apartment as well, which is going to be... And I'm talking about my flatmate and I. We'll move together if we move, because they want to get over there, too. Which could be pretty expensive, so I'll have to do a bunch of extra work to make up for that. But, you know... even though it would be chaotic and short notice and, like, hiring a moving firm and getting all the shit together, like, even though that would be stressful and sudden, I want it. And the reason I want it is, well, I mean, gaze upon the mess. That's my room. My bed is over there. And this has been my reality for the last, well, shit, now that I think about it, like it's been, like, 15 years, something like that, where my living condition has been, I live in an apartment that's, like, and I have one room, and I have my bed, and I have my computer, and that's, like, my whole life kind of just takes place in the one room. Like, not that I never go out or anything, but, like, I work on the internet, I do content, like, when I was a freelance artist, most of my time was in front of the computer. Now that I'm a YouTuber, most of my time is in front of the computer by necessity. And that's just kind of been... That's kind of been all I had for, like, 15 years. And again, for a long time, that was fine, but I'm getting older. And I want to have an office. Or, it's not even some... I don't actually... I keep telling myself that I want an office, but I don't actually think that it's that I want an office. I want a bedroom. Like, I want a room where I can go, and it's not where I work. Because 15 years, the room that I have has always been the room where I work. Like, it's always been the work room, always. And then I sleep in the work room, and like I work in the sleep room. And I just want a bedroom with like a bed and a chair and a bookshelf, and I can go there and relax and not be working. Like, I'd love a living room. Holy shit, I want a living room. Like, my God, what I wouldn't give for a living room. Like, just some room that is not where I work, you know? I really want that. I really want that separation between work and not work, because 15 years, man. And now, like, I'm finally in a position where I'm starting to be able to afford that, you know? Which is the other thing, is like, even, like, when I got the offer, my first instinct was like, oh, fuck, that's so expensive. There's no way I can afford that. There's no way in hell I'm not going to be able to pay the rent. I'm not going to be able to pay the rent. I can't take this one. I can't move. I won't be able to... Like, that sort of panic spiral just sort of blasting off in the back of my head. Freaking me the fuck out. And it's not true. Because I can. Like, it's a much more expensive apartment than where I live. Like, I've benefited tremendously from the privilege of living in a cheap apartment. But it's like, it's within my means. It's more expensive, I'll have to do more work. It's like, I'll have to cut back on things, and like, I'll have to be more careful with my budget, but it's within my means. I can do it. And it's not like gonna be like... Because the thing I'm so scared of is going back to that desperate struggle. Like, going back to that checking the income, like the analytics on YouTube, and checking my Patreon, and checking like everything, and like chasing down money and opportunities, and like always being stressed about like, shit, if I don't make X thousand this month, then the fucking apartment, like, we're gonna lose it. That's what I'm afraid of. Like, that's the fear. That's what being a freelancer for that long does to your brain. Ultimately, is like you get stuck in this loop of fear of poverty. Or not even of poverty. Like I've said this in the previous videos, I'm not poor. I have never been poor. Like, not by any reasonable definition of the word have I ever been poor. And if you ever see me claiming, like, oh, I was poor once, like, no, I'm full of shit. Like, just call me out on that, because that's bullshit. I'm middle class. I've always been middle class. And if I was ever really deeply, desperately in trouble, my family could help me. Like, that's... Like, they wouldn't be happy about it, but they could. So no, I'm not poor. Like, I've never lived in that kind of desperation, but I've always been broke. Because, you know, freelance artist, that's... like, yeah, not exactly how you get fucking rich there, mate. I've always been broke, and I've always been, like... I've always been running to be just not broke enough to get by. And, like, it's a sort of brain poison, like, that constant stress for months and months and months and months, that constant stress. It's a kind of brain poison, and your body never forgets it. And the moment it sort of senses that, oh shit, we're in that kind of trouble again, like, all the old defense systems come back online, and you get this adrenaline rush. And, like, I get really anxious to work. Like, I want to make videos, I need to... Like, I really had that after I got the offer. It's like, I need to make more videos, so I can make, like, 5 videos a month. I need to put out more, I need to push the Patreon, I need to, like, that kind of panic, that anxiety. And so that's going to be a thing I'm going to have to deal with if I move, when I move. When I get an apartment, it's going to be a lot more expensive than where I'm living right now. That's fine. Again, I've budgeted for it. But I'm going to have to I'm going to have to confront those anxieties a lot. And when I move, like, once I'm actually moved in, you might see an increase in my output. Like, you might see me put out more videos. And don't worry about me if that happens. Like, it's fine. It's okay. But that'll be because, like, I have this anxiety inside me that I can only kind of calm down by doing a lot of work. And, like, putting a lot of stuff out there and seeing numbers go up, like, because that's the only thing that really kind of calms me down. But I do know how to manage it. Like, I'm not in that constant panic spiral anymore, but I do get those, like, sort of slightly hyperactive periods like that when I get that anxiety. So that's probably gonna happen. But yeah, not moving yet. If I get the apartment, believe me, I'll make a vlog about it. Hello, motorcycle man. I look forward to getting away from the fucking motorcycles, too. There's so many in this town. Like, there used to be biker gangs in this town. Like, it used to be sort of notorious for having lots of biker gangs here. Not anymore, but but the bikes are still around. Like, the gangs, their power has kind of been broken in a lot of ways, and they're not really centralized here anymore. But the bikes are still around, and they're so fucking loud, and they ruin my recordings. And I want to get away from them, and I want an office, and I want to be able to sound isolated, so I don't have to deal with this shit. So I can have like I want an office that doesn't face a road, so I can open a window when it's warm without getting car noises fucking up all my Anyway, yeah, I want to move. I really want to move. I really want that apartment. I really want it. I really want it. I really want it. I also want to play Metroid Dread. So I think I'm going to do that now. Thanks for listening.